Banyana but style showed up, the crowns of the queens fell. Mali needed an unfortunate situation to take home maximum points. These are the details of the third day of the Women's African Cup of Nations. Welcome guys. Before we continue, I just wanted to let you know that
a couple about him say asem no ha me kra ha me o e ma nya wo say ha me ba ko kra ha me very okay.
Yes, I'm very okay. Yes, thank you all for checking up on me and asking how I was doing. Yes, I know I said in my initial video, in a tournament preview video, that Ghana is going to win. Yes, we are still going to win. Yeah, so by the way, let's just go right into the game. So the first game of the third day kicked off between South Africa, defending champions, and Ghana. So going into the game, the coach admitted that Ghana right now are not one of the biggest favorites to win this tournament and are probably classified as underdogs, if I may say. And it showed up in the game, but in the initial stages of the game was quite... Ghana took the game to South Africa, but then I think that the game was lost in the starting lineup. Because if you ask me, what was Wasima doing in that midfield? It's not that Wasima is a bad player, but listen, this is a girl that she's very young and really inexperienced in terms of the continental tournament. This is her first time in such a tournament. In fact, she has like 2 caps with the national team. So it shows how young she is and inexperienced she is. And you're putting her in a game against South Africa. It's like you're just throwing her in them to be devoured by lions. I think because you could see that what she wanted to do wasn't working. And of course, unfortunately, we know that Jennifer Kujo couldn't play because she got a red card from the she got a red card from the Olympic qualifiers against Zambia, which I think this suspension rule is something that CAF has to look at, because these are 2 different tournaments. I don't understand why, if she has a red card there, it's going to affect her in this tournament. And well, I don't know, it's their rules, so we just have to go by it. So that was what happened. But yes, kudos to the South African team, even though that they were missing the Cobra. You know the Cobra, right? They were missing Thembi Katlana, and but you could see that the experience in the South African team showed up. They were very composed at the back. In the midfield, they were also strong there. You could see Linda Mbotlalo just trying to take the players on, keeping things in order, and making sure that the midfield they control and boss the ball over there. And of course, Jermaine Super Senway, you can't give her such a chance and she'll miss. But I think that Ghana was playing quite well before the penalty. And trust me, if you ask me, that penalty was really needless. I think that they could have done better in that. But anyways, football, mistakes happen. And unfortunately, I mean, Linda Motlalo will not miss such a penalty. And look at how intelligent that penalty goal was. She just fooled the goalkeeper and locked the goalkeeper, and it was just basically like putting the ball into an empty net. And I think that was what shook the Black Queens, because when that happens, it means that their game plan was just thrown out of the window. Now they have to now start chasing the game. And in chasing the game, it looks like they kept making mistakes. And that back line, I don't know why the experienced Captain Boache is making a lot of mistakes at the back and making unnecessary tackles here and there, even prior to the penalty. And look at that goal that Super Senway, like how did she even manage to run in between 2 defenders and get that goal? So anyway, South African played well. They were very experienced, and I know that they used intelligence. They played smart because the weather was hot and they didn't want to use so much energy, so they allowed Ghana to do all the running. And guess what? They got tired. But I think that some of the players that really stood out in the Ghanaian team for me was Chantel. Chantel really did well, helping on that flanks. So it was quite good to see her working. But I felt like probably the coach should have brought Stella Nyamiche on quite earlier into the game, because as young as she is, she has a lot of experience and she has so much confidence whenever she steps on the pitch. And I don't understand why the coaches since Nora Turner don't really give her so much playing time as she deserves. So I think that the coach should probably think of starting her in the next game. Yes, Ghana had a lot of chances like that. Chance that Evelyn Bedu could have just headed the ball, but unfortunately the bar was the second goalkeeper, so it's just bounced back and there was no one on the rebound. But all too soon, I mean, the game ended 2-0 in favor of South Africa. They did well to make sure they didn't concede, and they began their title defense on a good note. So Ghana will now have to chase for points in their next game against Mali. So talking about Mali, they also went on to face Tanzania, and I would say that the game was something that was going to be defined by fine margins, because both teams needed the win, especially after the result of the first game. Both teams needed at least a point so that they can be in a good position to make it out of the group stage. And Mali took advantage of that just on the brink of halftime, and Traore just on the rebound after the Tanzanians couldn't clear out that free kick. She just bounced on that ball and just got the goal. And since then, they've just had to maintain and try to keep the defense and all that. But they got all 3 points, and it's something that they'll be happy to take home, because in their next game they are going to play against Ghana. And if they are able to frustrate the Ghanaians and get a point out of that game, it means that they are on their way to the quarterfinal. So that was just everything that happened in match day 3. And this brings us to a close of the official match day 1 of the Total Energies Women's African Cup of Nations 2024. If you are here, just make sure you hit the subscribe button, comment, and let me know who you think is your player of the round. I think I have 3 contenders. I would say Mama Diop, I would say Barbara Banda, and probably Rinsola Babajide. So this brings us to a close of the official match day 1 of the Total Energies Women's African Cup of Nations 2024. Tomorrow, the official match day 2, which is the second round of the group stage, begins, where we are going to see Zambia take on Senegal and DR Congo take host Morocco. So it's going to be a very intense game because, mind you, Zambia and Morocco, they need a win to be able to put them in a good position to make out of the group stage. Let me know what your predictions are going to be. And of course, until I see you in the next video, I'm Selassie, and I'm just a guy who loves women's football.